Welcome to the channel, Android Programming, Step by Step for Beginners. This is the first video of the series. The series starts from the basics of Android programming to the advanced professional Android development. You are supposed to know basic Java programming to start the series. In this video, we will discuss the basics of Android programming. It is strongly recommended to follow the videos in the series as mentioned. To do this, subscribe the channel so that you would be able to follow the series from basic to advanced Android programming. Subscribe the channel and enjoy Android programming. It is strongly recommended to pause the video until you read the whole slide. Once you have read the slide, then you can resume the video to go to the next slide. If you are new to Android programming, then this channel is for you. This channel will guide you step by step that how you can learn Android programming. If you have some basic understanding of Android programming, then still this channel will help you to develop professional Android apps. So stay tuned and see what we will discuss in this series. Here is the brief outline of the channel. First, we will discuss some basics of Android. Then, we will discuss the development tool and the required setup. We will discuss the basic and useful Android widgets, themes, styling and other UI customizations. In Android programming, events are very important. We will discuss different events to be used in Android programming. Activities are very important in Android programming. We will discuss in detail about activities. We will also discuss about Android application lifecycle, handling multiple activities, intents, fragments, dealing with data, database, SQLite, file-based data handling, and much more. Here are some other topics to be covered in this channel. How to extract data from Internet, communicating with social media like YouTube, Dailymotion and Facebook. We will also discuss about 2D graphics, animation, audio, video, multimedia player, text-to-speech, speech-to-text, threading, services, broadcast receivers, handling camera and other sensors. Some other topics include multi-user socket programming, telephony, SMS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, location sensing and communication with Google Map APIs. Deployment and marketplaces. I hope that you will find almost everything required for Android programming. So whether you are a beginner or moderate Android programmer, you can follow this series to get most of it. By the end of the course, I hope that you will be able to develop mid-range Android app. For this course you will need the latest version of Android Studio. 3.0 or a later version of Android Studio is recommended. You will also need the latest version of JDK to be installed. JDK 10 or later version is recommended. You will need an Android phone and a USB cable as well. Your Android phone should be installed on your computer. Mostly this is done automatically when you connect your phone with computer, provided that you have internet connection. If you have all these things, then you can start Android programming. Android is an open source and Linux-based operating system for mobile devices such as smartphones and tablet computers. Android was developed by the Open Handset Alliance, led by Google and other companies. Google acquired the Android platform in 2005. The first beta version of the Android software development kit was released by Google in 2007, whereas the first commercial version was released in September 2008. Over 1 billion Android devices have now been activated, and more than 1 million more are being added daily. So there is a wide scope of Android programming. Android programming has a very wide market and is also very interesting to write Android apps. Android is an open source platform. It has a very large community, so the target users are in billions. Android programmers are also in a large number, and are being increased with the passage of time. It is a very hot area having very wide and increased marketing. Android supports inter-app integration, which increases the productivity and reduces the cost and time of development. Android apps have very high success ratio. A very large number of apps are daily published in Google Play Store, having a very large number of target audience. Android Studio has a very rich development environment and state-of-the-art tools to develop Android apps. Android is a powerful operating system competing with Apple. It supports great features. It provides beautiful and attractive user interface. Android supports a number of communication media like GSM, Edge, IDEN, CDMA, eVideo, UMTS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, LTE, NFC and WiMAX. For storage, it provides SQLite, a lightweight relational database, which is used for data storage purposes. In fact, Android supports a lot of features. These are some of them. Android supports a number of media formats. It supports almost all the major formats used for multimedia. SMS and MMS are very common in Android apps. So Android provides a large support to these features. Android provides a number of facilities to support web browsing. Multi-touch feature is also very common in modern Android devices. Some other features include multitasking, resizable widgets, multi-language support, and Wi-Fi Direct. These are some of the features supported by the Android these days. The features are added and enhanced with the passage of time. Modern Android versions come with very new and interesting features, so the list of features is growing day by day. There are many Android applications in the market. The top categories are music, news, multimedia, sports, lifestyle, food and drink, traveling, weather, books and reading, business and finance, navigation, social media and many more. You can develop Android apps in these categories or in any other category of your interest. The code names of Android are very sweet and interesting. They come in alphabetical order starting from A. The code name of first Android version was Estro, followed by Blender and Cupcake. Some of the important and widely used versions are gingerbread, ice cream sandwich, jelly beans, marshmallow and Oreo. This table shows the code name, version number, release date and API level of some of the Android versions. While developing Android app, you need to mention that for what version you are going to develop the app. Some of the versions are compatible but some may not execute the app developed for another version. Android applications are written in Java, not the full-blown version of Java that's familiar to developers using Java platform, but a subset of the Java libraries that are most useful on Android. This smaller subset of Java excludes classes that are not suitable for mobile devices. If you have experience in Java, then you should feel right at home while developing apps in Android. Here are some basic terms being used in Android programming. An Android application can consist of one or more activities. An activity serves as a container for both the user interface and the code that runs it. You can think of activities as pages of your app. One page in your app corresponds to one activity. Every Android must have at least one activity. You can add as many activities in an Android app as you need. It is very common to use fragments in Android programming. A fragment is a piece of an activity which enables more modular activity design. It will not be wrong if we say, a fragment is a kind of sub-activity. A fragment has its own layout and its own behavior with its own life cycle. You can add or remove fragments in an activity while the activity is running. A fragment can be used in multiple activities. Android does not allow you to easily put two activities on the screen at the same time. What to do? The answer is, fragments. Intents are used to start activities and to communicate among various parts of the Android operating system. The intent can tell Android to start a new activity from within your application, or to start another application. Sending an intent does not make something happen automatically. You have to register an intent filter that listens for the intent and then tells Android what to do. Unlike the PC, where you manipulate the mouse to move the cursor, an Android device lets you use your fingers to do nearly anything you can do with the mouse on PC. In Android, you do not have the right-click event, however, you can long press an element until its context menu appears. So the long press in Android development is similar to right-click in Windows environment. Views are a basic building block of Android user interfaces. You need to place views on the user interface to design the activities. Without views, it may not possible to make an Android app. Some common views you might use in an Android application are text view, image view, layout, button, checkbox, zoom buttons, toggle buttons, and many more. It's always so much fun to write apps for the latest and greatest devices, however, you may find yourself wanting to support older devices from time to time. After all, not all of your users may be running the very latest versions of Android. Luckily, Android provides a solution. You can use the Android support library to make your apps compatible with devices all the way back to the Android Stone Age. Android devices come with several hardware features that you can use to build apps. These are some of the hardware features available on most Android devices. Most of the Android devices come with accelerometer, Bluetooth, compass, camera, and GPS receiver. These are some of the hardware features. This list is growing with the latest versions of mobile phones. I hope that you have liked this video. In the next video, we will see that how to develop an Android app in Android Studio. Kindly do subscribe the channel. And do not forget to like and share the video. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe to our channel by clicking the subscribe button. Click the bell button and enjoy the latest uploads from our channel.